So I think we should just start with the question.
Okay. So I'm going to present it to like you as like you're answering for me and vice versa. Okay.
Okay.
So if my personality was a flavor of ice cream,
Oh, I know it already.
what would it be and why?
I want you to go first because you have to answer first for me because I already know yours.
Vanilla? I'm entirely kidding. I'm just saying that just to make it. I don't think you're that. No.
How rude. Golden Retriever vanilla ice cream friend. There's no way you'd want to hang out with me as much as you do.
It's actually swirl.
Just chocolate and vanilla swirl?
Yeah.
Is it at least the soft serve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's better than
No, you're not boring. You're not that boring. I just had to put it. I just wanted
that boring.
I
I would
just
like to
wanted to
point out
see
she
your
just said you're not that boring.
No, I just wanted to see your reaction for the vanilla because I thought that's funny. You're like a cookie dough or maybe like a peanut butter cup, something classic.
I'd like to go with peanut butter cup because I hate cookie dough ice cream. It's the worst.
Really?
I am not a fan.
Okay. I mean, I could see that. I understand that.
I'm a big fan of Reese's peanut butter cup, though, so I would do that.
Yeah, but tell the people that you're a snob about it.
I am a snob. I'm a peanut butter cup snob. I'm proud.
Snob.
Proud of it. I grew up right outside of Hershey, so we only ever ate Reese's peanut butter cups.
She can tell the difference.
There's a local ice cream shop that last year, I don't know if it was just the end of the season, so they were saving money or what have you, but I asked for essentially a Blizzard, which is like the soft serve vanilla with peanut butter cups in it, and it was 100% not a Reese's peanut butter cup, and it really ruined the whole thing for me.
She can tell the difference because she's a snob.
I think if we put it to a vote, most people could tell the difference between a real peanut butter cup and a fake peanut butter cup.
I cannot.
You can't tell the difference in the chocolate?
No.
Okay, this is happening at a girls' night sometime. We're doing a taste off.
Yes.
For peanut butter cups.
No, I cannot. I cannot.
Okay, I'm going to set that up and we'll see.
Yes, I need
who's
this.
Right and who's wrong.
I need this. Big time.
So your ice cream type, I'm very excited to tell you. Have you ever seen when you go into the ice cream shop that has like the Hershey's ice cream or like hard scoop ice cream, there's like a Play-Doh vibrantly colored ice cream that has so much red dye in it.
It's typically like Superman, Spider-Man,
Yes,
some blue, green, yellow, all of it mixed. Yes.
Non-natural colors, lots of dye. That is what I think of with your personality. 100%.
I love that.
Out there in your face. Your eyes are like, wow, look at that ice cream. It's so loud. Well,
glad my personality makes you think of Red Dye 40.
And raccoons.
This kind of goes on to one of the questions we asked the last time. What law would you accidentally break just by being yourself?
Look, nuisance.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. That's fair.
What boring law would I break?
No, I get a sense from you, because I have driven with you a few times, that I feel like this is a law. I'm not entirely sure, but to take over multiple parking spots because you're nervous about being too close.
I am so offended right now. I am an amazing driver, an amazing parker.
I never said you weren't, but I feel like you would be you would double park. You would absolutely double park.
That's my husband. I yell at him and I make him back up and fix it because he'll go in crooked and I'm like, you're going to mess everybody up. He's like, I'm in the spot. It's fine. No, you're not. You need to be straight. My dad raised me. No, I'm sad I put those vibes off into the world. Do you know what law I do break often and don't, or I've broken it twice and didn't realize it.
You probably jaywalked.
No, I was driving at night without the lights on.
Yeah, that's illegal.
So the first time I was the DD on the way home from the bars. Luckily I had been working, so like I really did not have anything to drink. And we're leaving Madison downtown, and my car didn't have automatic lights on it. And so we get just out of the downtown, and the cop lights come on in the rear view, and I'm like, oh crap, my lights aren't on. So I turn them on, and he walks up and he's like, how you doing tonight? And I was like, I bet I'd be doing better if my lights were on.
Yes.
And he was like, sure would. So he ran my license and stuff and knew I wasn't drinking. Meanwhile, the rest of the car is like
cackling because you got pulled over.
Because they're drunk and got pulled over. So there was that time. And then one time I was driving our friend Kristen to the movies. And she was tired from...
She preached that whole weekend.
Preached that weekend. And so Joe needed my car. There was like a weird car situation. So she's like, can you just drive my car? I don't mind taking your car. I just don't want to drive. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll totally drive. So we're on our way, and we had to kind of go far because we're meeting a friend in a different area. And I remember thinking like, wow, her inside car is like so dark. This is weird. And we're driving, and then these lights come on behind me. And I had literally just said to her, like, I could see how you could get pulled over in your car. It goes really fast and you don't even realize it. And then it was like a second later, the cop car lights come on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting pulled over in your car. It's so embarrassing. So I pull off, and I was like, where's your license and registration? Like, my dad taught me how, when you get pulled over, you turn the lights on, you hold the steering wheel, you put your window down, like, just let them see it, where your hands are at. So he walks up and he was like, hey, your lights aren't on. And I was like, oh my gosh, again?
Like, you do this often?
And I was like, I'm sorry. And then Kristen starts like word vomiting onto him about how it's just a mom's night out. And we're going to the movies.
I'm exhausted because I preached all weekend.
It's a Sunday night. I was preaching. And so he thought it was funny. I was like, can you check that they're on now? And he's like, yeah, they're on now. So I also just got let go. So both times I didn't get a ticket, but it seems to be something I need to keep an eye on. Luckily now I have automatic, and it most of the time removes the responsibility from me.
Just so you're aware.
But if I'm ever driving your car, you might want to check that the lights are on.
We drive the same car, so I would hope you would know where my headlights are, because they're the same as yours.
It is really hard when you get into a different car and you're like,
it is. Where are they?
And I said to her, your car has automatic lights. Why is it not on? And she was like, oh, the kids like playing in the car, so they must have turned it off. I'm like,
your kids would. They would.
Anywho, welcome to Well Within Her podcast.
Hey, we're Jess
and Aaron.
Just two normal moms and saved women who love Jesus, deep conversations, and a good laugh.
On Well Within Her, we talk about the hard, the holy, and the hilarious parts of being a woman in today's world.
This is just your space to exhale, to stop striving and start living aligned with the truth.
Because the truth is, when Christ is within her, she already has everything she needs.
We're so glad you're here. Hit subscribe and come hang out with us every week.
So today we wanted to touch on exercise.
Yes.
And movement and where that fits in.
Right.
I love starting off with, I'm interested to know, what is your relationship towards exercise? What has it looked like throughout your life?
So that is a fantastic question. I would say I truly enjoy working out. It has ebbed and flowed, as we've probably talked about repeatedly, depending on the season that I am in. And, I was a 3-sport athlete in high school, so I came by it just justifiably, lifted weights and did all those things. And that's one of the things I truly love to do. Is we talk about it. Is it in the episode that just released today when we talk about body image?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That just released today, of talking about, I'm a sturdy person. I'm a strong person. I've accepted that of my life, and I would rather be strong than skinny. So I enjoy lifting and working out. I became a runner later in life. And once I got to college and started those types of things, I've done multiple distance runs. I've done multiple half marathons, things like that. And I also I did yoga when I was also in college, and then obviously got away from it for a really long time. And I am a huge proponent of it. I love it. I think there's so many amazing effects that it has. I think everybody would benefit from yoga. I think there's so many qualities. I tell you all the time that you need yoga.
You're not wrong.
And so after I had my second, I was again I think we talked about in the body image, like I blew up with both of my boys, all of those things,
I'll
know,
forever
whatever.
love how you describe it though. Blew up.
Blew up. I blew up. And so trying to get back into shape from basically like kind of nothing, because even I, again, blew up. So you're carrying a ton of weight. Even if I did work out throughout pregnancy and worked all those things, it wasn't the same as pre-pregnancy and you're carrying a ton of weight, all that. So I tried starting to get back into running after I had my second, and it just was not going well.
Right.
And I was just miserable, but it made me not want to work out. And so I was like, okay, maybe you need to get back into yoga. It was something you loved in college, and I do hot yoga. So I live for the 92-degree room. Give me all of the steam. I love that. I'm a sweater. I don't love that, but like I will pour sweat, soaking wet. It is just one of my favorite things. So I found a studio not far from where we live, and it just became my place. It's crazy. Like I started in April of 2019. So been there 6 years now. And it just makes me so happy. Like the studio is a vibe. I love this vibe. I love them so much.
How was the Taylor Swift yoga?
I didn't get to go.
Oh no.
It was Friday night.
Oh,
and
it was Friday night.
I had swim practice. So I had to take my oldest to swim. And I had also gone that morning. I cannot do 2 in a day because I would lose way too much. Like I'm finding that I need to I love hot yoga, but I need to hydrate better, and probably I need to pre-hydrate better and then post-hydrate even better, even with my electrolytes. Shout out to Redmond's. We love you, or Relight, but here we are.
Oh my gosh, if Relight was a sponsor,
I'd die.
I love their stuff. So good.
Love Relight. Love you so much. I swear by you, but especially on yoga days.
Especially because like Element and Liquid IV have 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which unless you are, I mean, you might need that after, just depending on like how much you sweat.
Yeah,
that's a lot for an average person.
For daily consumption, that's too much. For somebody who is, if you've done an intense workout, that might not be. For somebody who like, I sweat so much, that's probably not terrible for me after something like that. But like, I use Relight every single day and I love it. But yeah, so I started doing hot yoga. I've been doing it for now like 6 years, and it has helped. Again, there's so many aspects. So again, I lift weights, I run, depending on the season of life, depending on the season of the year, very much depends on the activities of my kids or whatever, but exercise is super important. Is there days that I'm like, I don't feel like doing this? Yes. But we call them our angry mom walks, where we put on our weighted vests, and I tend to walk, I'll do it on my driveway or on my treadmill or whatever. But I have found that if I am not consistently working out mentally, I'm also not good. Yeah. I am not a good mom. I'm not a good wife. Like, I need to be consistently working out not just for the physical reasons. So yeah. How do you feel about exercise, Jess?
I love exercise.
I know you do.
I feel like I have been the person that's posted my workout clips and pictures for well over 10 years.
Wow.
Like, I've always shared that part. And growing up, I was very active as well. I did soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, swimming. Swimming was definitely like my all-time favorite. Loved it. Just the whole atmosphere of swim team. I hope one of my kids wants to be on swim team because I loved it that much.
Listen, you can come and hang out with our swim team.
I know, but we live on opposite sides of
your kids
the district.
Your kids will end up swimming,
and it would be like a 30-minute drive for us to get to your pool.
Yeah,
or there's like another one that's like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah,
so we just are as far as we could be.
Yeah, we are literally the farthest ends of the district for sure.
But yeah, so I was super active growing up. Going into college, I worked out like at the gym. I fell in love with spin classes.
Loved spin. Also, yes. Loved spin in college.
Really wanted to be a spin instructor, but I'm also that introvert of, I don't know if I could talk to people that whole time.
Yeah.
I just idolized the Penn
Sure.
State fitness instructors. Like, they seemed so cool. Always wanted to be one, never became one, but loved spin class and kind of just did at the gym, the leg machines.
Oh,
Like
you
the-
did like this. Yeah.
I didn't do
you-
free weights
You didn't
at
do
all.
Okay.
Maybe for arms. And then, did you ever follow Tone It Up?
That's not Billy Blanks.
No, Tone It Up it was Katrina Scott and Karina Dawn. Katrina and
No.
Karina. Oh my gosh. I found them in like my senior year of college. They essentially just filmed workouts on the beach in California. And I was like, I want to be these people. Like, I idolized them. It seemed like they like had such a cool thing going, and so I would follow their workouts a lot. They would do like these like bikini challenges and stuff. This was in the dreads of,
Sure. When we're
the-
skinny.
yes,
Shit.
yeah. And I loved them. So I was really into that community and stuff. And then I had always just done home workouts. And so that was my zone. I have stayed consistent with that since I graduated college. And so that's what we're 36 now. Was that 14 years or something crazy?
Yeah.
So it's always just been a part of my life. The only time that it really fluctuated was when I was pregnant. Like I said on the episode that got released today, like I was really still disciplined when I was pregnant with my first, and still did a lot of followed programs and stuff with the Beachbody workouts. I really did genuinely love Beachbody workouts when I was doing them.
Yeah.
And then I started training for triathlons a couple years ago. So I got back into the pool. I got a bike. I was running more. And so now I would just say I just love movement and exercise.
Sure.
I love strength training. So I do a lot more free weights now, a lot more heavy weights than I
Which
would
I
have in the
love.
past.
Love that for you.
And definitely feel like just a lot stronger. Fitness has always been a huge part of my life. And it's a really big value I have because, one, I have the education to know how important it is.
Right. Right.
My family, I feel like my parents, and my aunts and uncles, there's been like a lot of health issues. So I grew up seeing what illness looks like. And because of that, like, I really don't want to develop heart disease.
Sure.
I want to do what I can to prevent cancer from happening. And so I know how important exercise is. So that's just a huge value of mine. I think this hasn't always been like a super positive relationship.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's never been like a over exercising. But I am just a better mom if I work out.
Yeah. Yeah. I just having that ability to work through things. I feel like I do a lot of my best thinking sometimes while I'm working out. Like, I feel like I can just breathe through stuff and work through some stuff in my head. And I can honestly say that there's going to be days that potentially I don't feel like doing this, but never have I ever regretted a workout that I've done. Yeah. Some days if you get in there like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, but like halfway through or whatever, it's get it done and you're guaranteed to feel better afterwards. And that's super important.
Right. And I think I'm thankful that I like have such a positive thought towards exercise and I like to sweat. I think I have had clients that are very anti-sweating, and that's a barrier for them for wanting to work out because they don't want to get sweaty. For me, it's like the sweatier I get, the better the workout.
That's how I am. I'm like, I feel like it's like a sign of your workout. Like,
It does suck that I have to wash my hair more often, but it is what it is.
Or I plan my workouts around
When you want to wash
hair
your
wash days. Sure do. So we're talking about movement and exercise and the importance of it. And fun fact, there are several points throughout the Bible as to what our bodies and movement and exercise points to. And one that we found, we thought kind of spoke to what we're talking about today. This is 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. It says, Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. So this is Paul is the author of this, and Paul often used physical activity like running as a metaphor for the spiritual journey. Strength, endurance, and discipline and movement mirror the perseverance we need in faith. But also strength, endurance, what was the third one? Perseverance. That is also critically important to longevity of your physical body, and not only to your spiritual journey, but also just in your physical well-being. All those three categories are super important too. And as a mom, I would honestly say more important. Like my goal in life is to be able to keep up with my kids. I want to be able to still pick them up until they're bigger than me. My oldest son is getting really close. Like, I still can beat him in a race. Not for much longer. He's getting fast. The soccer field is not helping me win this race much longer. But I can get him on the endurance front. Like, I can still go longer than he can. He might be able to get me in a sprint, but like, I can go longer than him. I don't ever want to be a parent, a non-participatory parent. Never want to be a mom who my kids say, my mom doesn't do that. She can't. She just always is sitting, or she doesn't. If my kids ever said that to me, I'd probably die. I never want to be one of those parents that'd be like, no, we played game. My mom was there doing everything with us, and that she could do that for a really long time hopefully in not only my children's lives, but hopefully in my grandchildren. I can keep going at. So that's one of a big motivator or goal.
Yeah, I just think that if you feel like crap, you're not going to be able to show up for your life the way you want to. Plain and simple. And that's something that probably is hard for some people to hear. But if you do not move your body, it will stop working. And our bodies weren't meant to be as sedentary as they are.
Oh, no.
Today. And years and years ago, we had to work for everything.
Yeah, had manual jobs.
Right. We're constantly doing stuff. And so now life is just easier in certain ways, and you don't have to move as much as you did. No. And so that's where like the breakdown of the body starts happening.
Oh, for sure.
You just sit and couch potato it up. You know, I think that being able to recognize that in yourself is super important to say, wow, I don't move during the day, or, you know, I don't feel great. I am really impatient with my kids and everyone's annoying me. You know what would be great for that? Go work out. Go move.
Go move.
So coming from like the perspective of this is already a discipline I have. This is something I don't have to learn it right now. It is my life. But if I can like think back to or even reflect on clients that are incorporating it, is like thinking big picture is really overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
And super hard. And I think I said this in the nutrition episode of you can't look at the whole picture or be like, I'm going to train for a marathon. That's not smart to start with.
No.
But you have to do something.
Absolutely.
And so starting with doing something 2 to 3 times a week is really great.
It's wonderful.
It's a
great place to start.
If you get sore, your muscles get sore, wonderful. That means they needed worked.
And it also means that you're going to build new ones.
Right. Yeah, you're going to be building. And I don't agree with tiptoeing around the fact that like you need to move is helpful. Sometimes in my profession, because so much can sometimes need changed in a person's life, it's like you're not supposed to bring up some stuff because you don't want to make people feel bad and stuff, which is true. But at the same time, if you need to know the importance of movement for your body to feel well.
Right. Right. And sometimes coming from the perspective of being a physical therapist, like looking at, you know, I could go through ad nauseum, like the amounts of protein we lose in our bodies and lose in our muscles and muscle fiber on every day without physical activity to exert those muscle fibers to, you know, what does the soreness feel like in that? Or actually, you know, how you gain muscle strength is actually causing micro tears through your muscle fibers. So you actually need to break down the muscle to cause the micro tears, in which that is how strength is built. And so, you can look at it through the lens of not doing just cardio activity, you're not doing just strength activity, you're not just doing X, Y, and Z. But the biggest thing being is movement and exercise should be a non-negotiable in your life. Not moving and not, I don't want to say pushing your body. That has to be something. If you want longevity, like, you can't come to us in your 60s and say, well, I didn't do anything short of working at a desk for 35 years and expect to be the picture of health. It starts now. Like, even us being in our later 30s, we're already like,
losing muscle mass.
Exactly. By the time you're in your third decade of life, the amount of muscle mass that you lose per year is significant. And especially if you're talking about women who are in perimenopause or menopause, what we're talking about on osteoporosis and bone density. And then if you are not taxing those muscles, you will lose it exponentially faster, and you are just prone to a boatload of additional factors not even that much later in life. And so if you want to be healthy, and I'm going to use healthy in a very like broad contextual form, if thinking of that longevity of life, movement has to be a non-negotiable.
Right. And then looking at longevity as it is not aesthetics. So it's not skinny.
No.
And
gosh, I hate that. I'll bring up Alona Mar because she is one of my favorite people. I love what she has done for women. I love what she has done for women's sports. I love what she has done for the perception that skinny is beautiful. Strong is beautiful. I mean, she is a world-class Olympic rugby athlete, and I love so much about her. I'm sturdy. I can lift a couch. I can do a lot of things because of how strong I am, and I will take that strength way more than being a size 2. I could truly care less about that.
Right. I agree. I think it's great to hear that, for other people to hear that too. You still can get sucked in on social media into the need to be smaller to be healthier. It's like, it is what is sold.
Right.
And
oh yeah, absolutely.
That's important. That's what's sold. People make money on making you think the only way to health is thinness. It's just not true.
No.
At all.
Right.
So being able to recognize that, like, going into adopting exercise as a habit, you can't go in thinking you're just going to lose weight.
Yep.
You may need to lose weight.
Sure.
You may need to lose weight to optimize your health. There might be something external else going on that, like, a weight loss would help support something in your body 100%. But, like, you can't expect that, because that's when you get disappointed and you quit. And so if you can go into it, I think, expecting that I want to be able to lift 15 pounds for my bicep curl in 3 months. That's a way more positive goal to have versus I'm going to lose 10 pounds by XYZ. There's so much that goes into that we can't control.
Right.
And that's where, if you then don't meet it, you feel like a failure and then think, what's the point? Especially because when you lift weights, you can gain weight instead of losing it. And you can think, well, if I stop lifting, then I'm going to lose weight again. And it's because your muscle mass is disappearing.
Right.
And that's not good for your longevity to show up later.
Exactly.
In life.
Exactly. And also thinking in that same context too, that if you're lifting weights, a lot of times, most often your weight either will honestly go up. Your weight either most likely could stay the same or go up because you're taking on mass, but a lot of times you're losing fat. So like you are changing the composition of your body, but not necessarily changing the number. And we could go into also the number on the scale doesn't define you either. If I looked at solely the number on my scale as to my identity and my, worth, value, all of those things like that. And I think
versus
that
what culture says is acceptable.
Correct. There's so many other benchmarks and things that we could hang our hats on more than the number on the scale and the size of our jeans. And those should not be our only like things. But like you said, chasing skinny is the really wrong mindset to have, let alone if you're getting into exercising or anything like that.
It's probably not gonna happen the way you want it to happen.
No, not at all.
Yeah, something that I do have a lot of clients, and even myself, like I do like numbers.
Well, yeah.
So, I don't like weight being the only number somebody looks at, but I think it's really helpful for somebody to see their body composition and what it is. So I do think if you're somebody who the numbers don't trigger you to go into a negative headspace, doing one of the like a bod pod or in-body scan is the one that's really common at like CrossFit gyms and stuff, or even the at-home scales.
Sure.
They're actually pretty accurate now.
Yeah.
Within like a couple % of a bod pod.
Right.
So if having numbers helps you to feel motivated or stay focused and you want to see your muscle mass increase, that can be really helpful to have a data marker to go off of. So I do recommend those in some instances. I also have a client now that sent me her in-body scan, and she, over the course of a couple months, a year, I forget exactly the timeline, she's put on 2.5 pounds of muscle mass. She lost fat mass, but she's technically 1.5 pounds heavier than she was last year. So it's like you can really see your body fat went down,
right?
Your muscle went up, and your scale went up a little bit, but like internally you are
healthier
than you were.
Absolutely.
And so that's where kind of proving to yourself that can happen is really helpful for some brains.
And having been on the side of needing, again, blew up after children, losing weight, all of those things, just taking body measurements, like for someone who I can put on muscle very easily as one of the, I think it's the mesoform type of body, whatever. I can put muscle on very well. I also retain fat well. Great things. All those things. It's fine.
You're a builder.
I'm a builder, just where we're at. So when I'm really trying to look into measurements, because I'm one of those people that like, I really find helpfulness in just measuring body composition and just with a measuring tape, like just, bicep, waist, hips, those types of things. And that I think you'll see a lot of changes in where you may not be seeing any movement on the scale, or you're seeing it going up and you're like, what the heck's going on? And that's when a lot of people would quit or something like that. So again, there's other forms of measuring progress and getting accurate measurements, and that is easy, that potentially could give you better answers as to how things are going, where just using the scale is not always the answer.
Right. And I think another non-scale goal of mine, especially now that I have a daughter, is to show exercise in a really positive environment and something that is enjoyable and that mom does because she's passionate about it and it helps her feel better. All the various reasons, so that I can swim in the pool with them and teach them how to swim and beat them when I race them and all those things, because that's, I think, a really good thing to model if we want to show our daughters strong is beautiful. I think boys, we always talk about how big your muscles are getting so big and like you're growing up, you're getting so strong, and remembering that if you do have daughters, it's equally as important to show them that you are strong.
Sure.
And that you can be strong.
Right.
And that you can do these same things. You can lift heavy weights. You can do push-ups, pull-ups, like whatever it is.
Right.
And if we want to change the way our daughters perceive their bodies, we have to change the way we perceive our body.
Right. Because we grew up in the generation where I would say, one, skinny was the requirement. Societal representation was you were not pretty, you were not beautiful unless you were bone showing skinny. And there was a lot of shame around that. We grew up in a really awful time where women
were spoken to about it too.
Yes, where it was okay to talk about women's bodies
all the time,
either in front of them, about them, There's pictures of tabloids of, oh, this so-and-so, look, she gained 10 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
or-
And it's like a barely love handle.
Yes.
Like sticking over the jeans. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's nothing.
the public shame that was brought to women. And it, obviously it's the horrific double standard because it's still okay for men to gain weight and whatever. But like our generation was so like shaming women for their bodies, and the changes that happen in a woman's body was so prevalent, accepted, that we
all still sit with that.
we all have to
Like,
marinate in that for,
yeah.
and most likely it probably still rears its ugly heads in most of us in any given moment. And like you just said, that's one of the things I feel like is a common thread of this generation of moms and thinking of their daughters. And even in my sons, to say strong is beautiful. We are to teaching our girls to be much kinder to their bodies, and for boys to being, you don't comment about somebody's body. You don't say anything about that's not okay. That everybody
Dude, handling the word fat has been difficult for me. I try and the kid that's in kids' books and stuff.
Yeah.
And for a while I was like hypersensitive to it because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't like this. But it's like you can't hide the word from them.
Right.
And my father-in-law always called it like Pap's fat belly. So it's like talking about, okay, Pap can say that about himself.
Right. But
That's not how
we don't say that about other people.
That's not how we talk about other people. And it's just interesting. Kids do pick up on the differences in bodies. And so they, my daughter will ask or say somebody's belly looks fat. And it's such a innocent comment that you kind of have to be like, okay, don't overreact because you are hypersensitive to it.
Right.
But you do need to explain, okay, that person's body is shaped differently because we're all shaped differently.
Right.
And I'm glad that you asked me about it because that's not something that we should ask the person about because that could be a hurtful word.
Right.
And walking through that of just trying to not hide from fat. No, fat shaming is a very real thing.
Absolutely.
And, we just want to do better than what we got growing up.
Absolutely. And, I think you talking through that and thinking of how often fat are just like in our home, not that people were calling us fat, but like I had grandparents who fat shamed my sister. And I remember, it still makes me angry. My biological grandfather, we were at a Christmas dinner. I don't even know where we were. I was young and I had a sweater on, and I walked over to him and he said something like along the lines of, oh, I see somebody gained some weight over the holidays, and that's not just the sweater talking. And I was less than 10. 100% was less than 10. And he was also not the specimen of health.
Right. That's the most annoying part.
That was absolutely the most annoying thing. And I obviously was not, because again, we were taught at a younger age that you don't disrespect your grandparents. Now, if that was said to me, you'd better,
or my child,
you better watch yourself, because I would absolutely come back at you. But that was like, I remember going up to my mom and telling her what he had said, and she was just appalled. But how just wildly acceptable, and how often just fat was just talked about in general, and that was an appropriate descriptor for so much. And it's just, let's do better.
Right.
Let's do better. And also, I can think about even my mom and my grandmother of talking about their bodies and what that did to shape myself and my sister, and being like, okay, now that I have kids, let's think and how can we improve how we talk about ourselves out loud, so that, because our kids are hearing it, and how can we improve upon that, and how I view my body and can then shape and morph how my children view themselves. Right.
Yeah, I can honestly say I don't remember my mom talking about her body. But what I think is interesting is I was thinking of this one specific client I worked with for 2 years, and her family was awful. Like every time she would go home, we would have to have an extra long appointment that week she got back, because there was just this constant, and it was like her family was disguised it as, we care so much about you. And the fact that
The gaslighter.
Yeah, the fact that
Mhm.
she's like bigger than she used to be. And it was, oh, we're so worried about your health and stuff. And it's like, you don't think she knows that she looks different
Right.
than she did?
Right. You think she
Like,
really doesn't have any clue?
do you really think you need to point that out? That's what
Right.
just would drive me nuts. Is it's like,
Mhm.
why do they feel the need that they are the people that need to speak this truth? It's like, you are living in your body. You
Right.
know it's bigger than it used to be.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's just so annoying to me that people need to point it
Feel
out.
the need to point it out to you.
And
Right.
it's like, well, no shit.
Yeah.
I'm here. I remember.
Right. I'm the
and
one who's
you
buying.
judging me does not help me feel motivated
Yeah.
to go do something different.
Right.
It makes me feel like hiding in a hole.
Yeah. It makes me feel even more crap. And if they're like,
Because if my own mother will say this to me, my goodness, what are other people saying?
exactly. And then is that causing spirals? Is that causing, emotional eating? You're setting people up then for further not healthy views of a lot of things.
Right.
And yes.
And so oftentimes the people that are the ones spewing all that are ones who really struggle with themselves and their choices and their habits. And it's like
they're projecting onto you.
just total projection. So it was something that hindered her from feeling motivated to stick with anything.
Yeah.
Because it was like she might find a groove and then she'd go home and visit, and it was just like balloon pop. All the wind in her sails, like
Just
whatever
gone.
metaphor, it was just gone.
Right.
So yeah, I get really super passionate about it because I just have heard so many stories that are like, oh my gosh,
Just awful.
absolutely awful stuff. And yeah, my biggest thing being like, you don't think somebody recognizes their
Right.
changes in their body?
Right.
Come on. No one, come on, really.
Yeah. So it goes back to Thumper. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
And also, yeah, I'm always like, something that I don't think people are really comfortable recognizing is their own fat phobia.
Yeah.
Would be a right thing of like within them, that culture's built in them that, oh, people are supposed to look a certain way. It's like really uncomfortable to come to terms with. I do judge people. I do look at someone and think this way. And that's something I do ask and work on with clients is like, where are you at with this? Because if you're constantly nitpicking other people, that keeps you focused too on yourself. And when we wrap it back around to like exercise, it can't be about just the aesthetics and just the weight. Like it has to have some other motivator with it. And I think the longevity for your family and your kids and yourself, and also the longevity, because this is a faith podcast, to live out what God has planned for your life. Those are like the really good motivators to live out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And remembering that, because there's a lot of days that sometimes you just don't flip and feel like it.
Right.
And that is when you have to really dig into those even internal motivators, external motivators. You got to really dig into it. Again, coming into the faith component of is that we are called to be a light and to show Jesus. And it also has to encompass how we live our lives, not how our bodies look. God created us all in his image. And we talked about everybody is different. But I think there is a calling that we need to acknowledge, that God calls us to be responsible for the bodies we have been given. And we need to show, we can't be preaching that we're these Christians, Jesus-loving people, and do nothing that is protecting our bodies and ensuring longevity of life. That's not how it works. Like, you need to be taking care of the body that you have been given by God, and do the work sometimes,
Right. And so let's back it up, because I think that's a really great statement, everything you said. I can also think of the listener who is a full-time working mom, who has 3 kids, who has a husband that works full-time, and the kids are in activities.
Right.
And it's, what the heck do you expect me to do?
Sure.
For her,
Great thought.
what I would like to say, I think I said this previously, is like small thing. And so I do think movement's really important, and that can be incorporated in very different ways throughout your
Agreed.
day. So you may not start with crushing the weightlifting
Right.
section of things.
Right.
Okay. Can you go for a 30-minute walk on your lunch break consistently? Can you pop in your earbuds and listen to the Dwell Bible app
Right.
while you're walking?
Or the Well Within Her podcast.
Oh, yeah. Listen to us.
While you walk at the soccer fields. Go around.
Yeah.
Or if, at
Oh
a
my,
s-
I thought of that the other day. I'm like, we sit at this picnic
I
table.
know. I thought about it too.
I was like, this is not me living out what I preach.
I actually thought about it too because I actually wore shoes the other day and I was like, I really should just walk. Because actually walking around our soccer fields is, I want to say, like almost a half a mile, like a full, like along the fence line.
Yeah.
That is a good little jaunt. Okay.
Yeah.
And my kids are at practice for an hour and a half to an hour, sometimes 2 hours. I could walk for an hour with a podcast in my ear and get some steps, get my heartbeat going. So if you're at a sporting event, yes, you could be sitting reading your book.
Chit-chatting.
Could we put that
Bring
on?
that friend with you.
Bring your friend with you and do a couple of laps. Get that in. Or like you said, doing a walk on your lunch break.
Like walking is still taking a very firm action step.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like exercise and movement are like kind of a little bit different in my head. Like exercise to me is like I'm following a video in my basement with the weights. Movement is, I think, just incorporated kind of throughout the whole day.
Yeah, movement. You're folding a little laundry. Pump in some air squats while you do it.
Right.
Anything.
But just knowing, like, it's that action step of like actually deciding I'm going to walk twice a week. That may seem little, but you can build it to consistency.
Absolutely.
That is 100% where my mind goes is, okay, I'm thinking of the person who's doing nothing.
Yeah.
And is, wow, Erin, you just called me out on my lifestyle. Like, I feel like crap right now.
I'm sorry. That's
It's
me
like-
being bold. That's me.
This is me being the golden retriever.
This is me
empathetic.
calling you out. I'm sorry.
But,
Different personalities here.
But you're right. So it's like, how do we transfer? Like, you were correct.
And you were also
into,
correct.
Let's make it digestible for somebody who could easily make themselves feel bad.
Yes. And attainable. And again, start small. Like we talked about in the beginning of this, I've been doing this since I was in I've played multiple sports my entire life. I started playing soccer when I was probably my kids' ages and have been very active. I'm very athletic my entire life. I started heavy lifting years ago. So this isn't like we are coming from a different lens in that this is something that has been instilled in our person for a very long time. And we're telling the importance of that, but also coming from the lens and understanding of the season that's a lot of us are in, that you're barely keeping your head above water and you're asking me to do what? Do you want me to do even more? And I'm already tired. I'm already, whatever. That you can start very small and still see radical benefits from just some very small intentional actions.
Correct. If you need help, go to www.reachwellhealth.com. Shameless plug for me.
No, I think it's perfect. Absolutely is perfect.
Because that's what I do, is provide that insight, support, and accountability towards someone making those changes. But yeah, I think we could probably chat on this for a lot longer.
For a long time.
We should wrap it up. We got to go pick up our kids.
Go pick up our kids. I'll start this time
Yes,
on tell you something good. So I'm probably going to start laughing because this story just cracks me up. So my oldest son just had the opportunity to start to play an instrument. And so I played trumpet and French horn. I started in middle school and high school.
Really?
Yeah. Did you not know that?
You would be a trumpet player.
I played trumpet. So music is super important. And I am a big proponent of that. I think kids should play I think people should play instruments. So my son comes home. He was like, hey, we can start playing instruments. You can go into brass and woodwinds. You can go into orchestra, which is strings. I'm like, okay, do you want to play an instrument? He goes, yeah. And he initially said trumpet. And I was like, let's not. So I played trumpet, but if I was given the opportunity to do it again, I would absolutely pick percussion. Give me a drum line. It is still probably one of my favorite things. I love, my
roommate in college was in drumline.
It's one of my absolute favorite things. So we went to the local music store and I told him, try percussion, and then we go from there. So we get to the store, the guy gets out like the test drum pad, he tries, and I can tell by his face, I'm like, shoot, this is not what we were coming home with. And I was really hoping we were. So the guy at the store was like, what else do you want to try? He was like, trumpet. And then it was like getting notes out straight out the gate. And I was like, great. And he was like, okay, what else? And he's trombone. So he pulls out this trombone, gets notes out straight out the gate. And you could just tell immediately, like he kind of lit up. And I was like, oh, in my head, I'm thinking we're coming home with a trombone. So the guy shows my sons a couple of notes, and he moves the slide to like 5th or 7th position. And it like, you get this like really earthy, low tone note. And I see this all transpire in my head. My son's eyes light up. He says nothing, but I know immediately what is going on in his mind. Me being a boy mom, hearing that noise, I know in his head, he was like, that's a fart noise, and I can make that with that instrument. I am down. And I knew that immediately. And I was like, yep, that's what we're going home with.
Sure
I
enough.
have a trombone. He comes into my house that night, goes down to the basement, because I told him, I was like, you practice this in the basement.
Yeah.
And he is just blowing out all kinds of noises. And he yells up to my husband when he got home. He's like, Dad, I got a fart maker.
Oh my gosh.
And that is
That'll
just
be
my
the-
life.
That's funny. Something good. Well, I would have to just say my daughter had off multiple days. I was with her one-on-one while my son was at school. So it was just us for 4 days last week. And we got to go on little coffee dates, and we colored with each other on the coffee date, and she loved it. And we played Barbies for an hour, which I'm not the best make-believe player. So I was very proud of myself for that. And yeah, she just had the greatest time. And so it was like really nice to have just some one-on-one time
Yeah,
with her. She's just at a super cute age.
she is.
Well, there you have it.
Yep. Do you want me to pray?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, God, thank you again for the opportunity that we have to just talk to the woman who is listening, God, that we could potentially give some insight as we navigate this life. And hopefully we are encouraging movement and just bringing movement and exercise into someone that may need it, and the benefits that it can come from it, God. We are so grateful for this community, and that just all of the glory is given back to you. Thank you so much for your son and for your love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Have a good week.
Thank you. Bye.